Hello, hello, internet, and welcome. This is Pike. I've got my nice cup of tea here. And I must say, I've been staring at this for about 20 minutes or so. No, looking at the clock on my wall, it's more than... Wow, it's almost 40 minutes. I think I got it. I've also been thinking about this case very thoroughly, going through the documents section and the reports once more on the map, and I think I can give a pretty good description of what has happened so far. So let me sum it up. There is this cult seemingly situated in India, but they also have branches, one might say, in the south of the United States of America. So seemingly this cult has spread, possibly from India to Africa to America through the Caribbean. So not sure exactly where it originated, but I don't know. My guess would be Africa, actually, because a lot of Indians actually went to South Africa, the southern part of the continent of Africa. First of all, as slaves, would you believe it? But second of all, of course, as normal standard workers. Lots of people don't know, but Mahatma Gandhi actually spent quite a lot of time in South Africa before he went to India to make his peaceful revolution. By the way, I'm a big Gandhi fan. Great guy. Wonderful. Yeah. So anyhow, we've got this cult somehow acting internationally. Everything else is speculation, but we've got this cult. So this cult got his hands on a treasure chest full of precious stones, diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, whatever. We don't yet know how. It would also be speculation. It could be that the owner of the chest joined them. It could be that he died and they just were lucky enough to salvage the chest after his ship had sunk. There might be other possibilities that we haven't taken into consideration yet, but in any case, there is this cult, they have this chest. Now, a certain constellation of stars is being predicted, and this cult goes haywire. They go like, oh, this is the constellation we've been waiting for. We want to perform a certain ritual which will do, well, guess what? We don't know, it would be speculation, but I think it has something to do with waking up a certain great old one. So this cult says, how should we do it? Now, seemingly, this star constellation not only tells them when to do this ritual, but also where to do it. Now, all the clues very strongly point towards a lighthouse in the north of England. I'm sticking to this. And seemingly they're not very active in England at all. They've got several problems to solve. First of all, how do they get this lighthouse under control? Point number one. Point number two, they need, for this ritual, they need seemingly a choir of people from different nationalities. Purebred people, you might say, so not of mixed race. Remember, this is the 1890s, so people were thinking in this very sick way. So they said, okay, we need, I don't know, we have to guess on that, 12 maybe, or 14, or 20, I don't know how big the choir is. So they got some of these people out of New Orleans. They sent money to New Orleans. They also sent some of these diamonds directly to New Orleans, obviously. They also sent people to London. And they also established a power base in Switzerland by somehow, we don't know how, getting this doctor under their control and thereby taking control of the asylum. Now, one of the cult leaders, or actually seemingly eventually the cult leader, is moved from India to Switzerland, and they actually plan, or at least take into consideration, to move him further to that lighthouse, but refrain from doing so because transporting him or getting him past the border police would be too much of a risk, so they leave him in Switzerland. Now, where things go wrong is these precious stones were very well documented, and the mother of the person who owns the chest knows of this documentation. She has access to it, and she's been told, seemingly by several people, but it could actually be Anson who warned her first, because in New Orleans there's this famous hunter, Anson, who actually came there to hunt down some beasts in the swamp, which turned out to be the cult, because they're cannibals. And he seemingly noticed that his Indian servant, Ashmat, which I assume is Indian, is a member of this cult. He sells precious stones to that dubious banker, and Anson notices it and believes this to be very strange because he doesn't pay his servant in diamonds. So he makes some inquiries and finds out that these diamonds are stolen or vanished, and contacts the rightful owner, which is the mother. He then gets contacted by the detective agency that this mother obviously has already engaged to act on her behalf, because she has had several reports of diamonds from this chest popping up in Switzerland, in London, and now in New Orleans. So this cult takes action. They need to hurry, which is why they get Anson out of the way, and when they find out that this Boston detective agency is also on their trail, they kill the detective. But then they notice that Sherlock Holmes is upon them. He's actually able to foil their plans in Switzerland. They have to leave, well, they throw their master into a well and let him rot there, because the only important thing is the ritual, of course. So we know that they have the choir. They've got all the people, seemingly. I guess they're ready. They've shipped them off. There's nobody left in Switzerland. There's nobody left in London. And seemingly there's nobody left in New Orleans apart from this one lonely cannibal who was guarding the premises. The janitor, as you might say. So what Holmes has to do, Holmes has to get back to London, which he has done right now, and now he has to contact the Northern Lighthouse Board and ask them, where's this lighthouse that is being run by Bart, recently from India? Because that's how the cult secured this lighthouse. They found out, hey, the nephew of the lighthouse owner? No, it's not an owner, probably. But anyway, the person who's running the lighthouse has a nephew. The nephew is being seduced. He's being brought to India. He's being introduced into the cult. And when he comes back, he kills his uncle and takes his place. So now they have full control of the lighthouse. So all we need to do is find out where the lighthouse is. But Holmes does not do that for some reason. He's focusing on this code, which might be important. I don't know, maybe there's a safe in the lighthouse that we need to crack. So, excuse my rambling. So now, the only thing I wasn't able to pinpoint is that in the documents we have a book that Holmes got pretty early. There's one about pirates. I've got no idea what this has to do with anything. I've read it twice now. It's a story about McGrinty. He's a very, very bloodthirsty pirate, and his treasure is gone. But this was over a long time ago, so this treasure has nothing to do with the treasure chest of Lord Rochester. Archibald Rochester, so I don't know. So, let's go back to this riddle. Holmes seemingly thinks it is important, though I think we're wasting our time on it. It's probably some kind of lock combination. So, what I've done is, ladies and gentlemen, I've looked at these numbers, stared at them for a long time. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is, of course, this is a cross-reference to some other document, but it is not. We don't have any clue to that. And it's not the alphabet, because there's only single-digit numbers in here, and no way of differentiating. So we don't have, I mean, a message consisting of letters, of 9 letters solely would be silly. Doesn't make any sense. So I assume this is a number code that you have to extract. Now, taking this into consideration, there's this very remarkable dash here, which tells me that this is important. Now, these are 9 numbers. It's every single digit number we have in our number system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then there's the dash. And it continues 2, 1, 4, 9, 7, 9, 8, 3, 9. Now, after staring at that for a while, there's no repetition here. But here, the 2 is repeated. So I dare say we have to put a slash wherever, a dash, slash, whatever this is, hyphen, no, it's a dash. We have to put this after each repetitive number. So the next dash would be between 3 and 9. Because the 9 is in this. So we have 2, 1, 4, 6, 7, 9, 8, 3. Stop. And so on. Then we have 9, 3, 4, 2, 1, 7, 5, 8. And then we have the next 8. So we would have to put a dash here. And so on. Now, if you keep doing that, you get 4 areas up here, well, 5, and 4 down here. If you put a dash in between every, before every repetition. And if you take a look at these, like, let's take a look. Here, every single digit number is present, but here, the repetition is here. We've got 2, 1, 4, 6, 7, 9, 8, 3, 9. Well, not the 9 belongs to the next section. So there's no 5. The 5 is missing from this section. So if you do this, and if you go on, the next one would be 9, 3, 4, 2, 1, 7, 5, 8, dash. So 9, 3, 4, 2, 1, 7, 5, 8. There's no 6. And so on. Now if you do that, you get 5, 6, 436 up here, and you get 6134 down here. There's one section where all numbers are present, so I guess that's just nothing. So that would mean that the code is 5, 6, 4, 3, 6. Then there's the next row. The next row. This is space, right? So then the next row would then be 6, 1, 3, 4. Is that correct? It is. Wow. That took me. I mean, I obviously didn't record it, but I've been sitting here for ages, going like, oh no. I was pretty quick to jump onto this is a number code, but I've tried all sorts of multiplication, subtraction. How does this? But okay, this is it. I was pretty sure of it. All right, because all the other paths I tried did not make any sense. So good, we've got a number here. What?
Indeed, they are open to but one possible meaning, even if it eludes me at present. As for my own enigma, I have failed to penetrate the secrets of this book. The language is archaic, and my own modest knowledge of ciphers is sorely tested. I have succeeded in drawing forth only insanities and other absurdities. According to this book, if my translation is exact, if one makes this mark with human blood, and then with conviction recites this illuminating verse, the victim is mesmerized or deemed to leave his mind. I tell you, Watson, this reads like complete gibberish. I do not know what to make of it.
How did you say it? What? These drawings, what a horror. I tell you, Holmes, this book gives me great unease, as does almost everything to do with this affair.
I just recalled, Watson. Didn't Barnes, the bookseller, tell us he had studied ancient history? Perhaps he might help us with the translation of this book. We must seek out better minds, for we are at a standstill. I have not the slightest idea where they could have taken these people and what consequences await them.
What?
Let's take our leave and see if Barnes might be of assistance.
Why don't you just go to the frickin' lighthouse? It's not any problem. I'm quite sure that this Northern Lighthouse board is in the telephone book. No, they don't have telephones yet. But still, it should be a problem. It's a public institution. Just go to them and say, where is the lighthouse that is controlled by Bart? This is insane. It's in the very first clue. Here. It is with great sadness that the Northern Lighthouse Board announces the loss of their faithful. I think Dragonster's right. I think they're trying to create this special Cthulhu madness theme here by actually driving the gamer mad. They're trying to drive me mad until I see little Cthulhus jump out of my monitor and go like, lighthouse, lighthouse, lighthouse. You've got to be kidding. Matthias Fernston. Here. His nephew Bart recently returned from India. So all we have to find out, Bart. We don't know his last name. He's a nephew. It might be Fernston, it might not, but we'll just have to... Matthias Fernston, recently deceased. Where is his lighthouse? Where? Why don't you do it? So we had so many clues pointing to what we had. So many clues. We had the oil. We had this letter in Switzerland here. It's impossible. Here. This letter. After reading your letter, I understand that the risk of exposure by my master is great. Which means that the actual head of the guy who's guiding it, because his master is clearly totally bonkers. So, this guy who's writing this is at the lighthouse, and we had so many clues. Here, on the handwritten letter found in Dr. Gyjax's office, there's a greasy stain apparently from an oil lamp. This specific oil is a variety that has not been in common use for some time. The person who wrote this letter must therefore have access to old stores of lamp oil. The letter is also recent, being dated a few days ago. I can infer it was posted from Europe and should have passed through countries with a reliable postal system. Strong odor of iodine was also detected. This letter was also in the presence of sea air before it was posted. Okay, where do they store large amounts of lamp oil? Right next to the sea in Europe. All you have to do is cross-index it with the Strand magazine, which obviously you're aware of all these facts. You've read the Strand. Why don't you just go take this clue? I don't know why it's forcing me to do silly things. I mean, of course it's nice to know, but I could give the book to Barnes. Go to the lighthouse and tell Barnes to send a telegraph to the next police station in the vicinity of that lighthouse. It shouldn't be a problem. Instead, I'm sitting in London.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, a real pleasure to see you. I say, where have you been? You've stayed away for some months now.
Indeed, we took a very long journey and barely made it back. However, we have more important matters to discuss. Didn't you say you have some knowledge of ancient people, their language, writings, and customs?
Indeed I did, Mr. Holmes. Why do you ask?
He's giving it to a bookseller. You do know, Watson. Watson, you know, and I know, and everybody else knows that in the vicinity of London, there are universities. Pretty good universities, actually. Oxford. Cambridge. Lots of really learned people specialized on archaic languages. And you give it to a bookseller. Really, Holmes? Really? You could have contacted your brother. He's one of the highest officials in government. Surely he has access to people absolutely excellent in deciphering such messages.
I have no reason to go there.
No, you don't. You really don't want to go to the Northern Lighthouse Board, really? Are you sure? What am I supposed to do now? Wait until he's finished translating? This is insane. Totally. Fight in Arnson's garden. It's the last thing. Got no more recent documents except for the book text that I've just given to this bookseller. Okay, that's the wharf.
I have no reason to go there.
I have no reason to go there. Can I go back here? I can. He should have solved it in 5 minutes, right? No problem. Hello?
What can I do for you, Mr. Holmes?
Translation?
What can I do for you, Mr. Holmes?
Why is he pointing to Watson? What is it with Watson?
What can I do for you, Mr. Holmes?
No, I'm Holmes. This is Watson. He's probably telling me to leave. It probably needs some time to translate this, like a day or 2 or 3. This is so frustrating. I think I'll get a revolver and do some target practice. Add some more bullet holes to our wall. What do I do now? No, really? And stop the music. It's totally ridiculous. Can't go to my room. This. Oh yes, I can go to my room. Stop following me. Close the door. Close the door. I can't close the door. Can't close the door. Okay. Oh, is this Irene Adler? No. This is Irene Adler, huh? This is Queen Victoria, would be my guess. Holmes, what have you got up there? Anybody recognize that picture? The Sultan and his friends. So, wardrobe. What do I do now? It's like... I don't have the book. I gave it to... By the way, what happened to that precious stone I had? Probably gave it to Lucy, so she could sell it and take care of her. Mr. Stenix, can I go here? I can. But I can't enter it. This game is driving me insane. What am I supposed to do now? What? What? Oh, you two. We've been gone for months and you still haven't agreed on a price. You are despicable. And yes, I watched Verax and Malaki playing Blood Bowl. Despicable! Flowers. Are you working on the translation? You don't seem to be working. This is insane. This game, just when I thought, okay, it's kind of getting better, it's not. Hello?
What can I do for you, Mr. Holmes?
Give me the bloody translation of the... I don't even need it. You can send it to Telegram, to wherever that lighthouse is. I'm going to find out. I'm going to pretend to find out where this lighthouse is. Really, what am I supposed to do now? He's not going anywhere. This is my last conversation. This is my last document. I've got the numbers, but I can't do anything with it. My last report is from the fight in Anson's garden. I did decipher it. It's... What do I need? Where can I get more information about the missing ships off of Scotland and Ireland? What? What? Where can I get more information about the missing ships off of Scotland and Ireland? Why should I care about missing ships off of Scotland and Ireland? What? What do I need to know? Holmes can't seem to manage to interpret the book he picked up in the swamps of New Orleans. He needs help. Yes, and he goes to present the book to Barnes and he will help you. I did that. You'll need to leave the store and come back later for time to pass. Okay. Where can I get more information about the missing ships off of Scotland and Ireland? Why would I want that? I couldn't care less. What is this game trying to tell me? Oh, I hate this. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Pike is signing off. I need a drink. Bye-bye.